Here's LeBron James.
He
catch,
off.
fire, ball game! He did it! LeBron James wins it for Cleveland!
This is LeBron James, who you might recognize as a four-time MVP, four-time NBA champion, and one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But a lot of people don't know that LeBron James was actually a monster of a wide receiver in high school. And he was so great that at one point he was the #1 ranked recruit in Ohio. And this gotta make you think, with how much of a physically imposing force LeBron was on the field, what if LeBron James played college football? Well, we're about to find that out today as we follow him on his road to glory. Out the gate, LeBron means business. He wants to win a national championship, he wants to go to the league one day, and he doesn't really care too much about who the coach is because the funny thing is LeBron already pretty much knew where he wanted to go. Almost every single school in the country was looking to sign LeBron to the team to be their starter. But LeBron was from Akron, Ohio, and he was a huge Ohio State fan. So he knew that no matter what, when it was time to go to college, he just had to sign with Ohio State. You know, as soon as LeBron James got to Ohio State, he was showing everybody what he can do. But they had disrespected him by throwing 86 at him because 9 wasn't available, so LeBron had decided to go ahead and rock number 6. But then on top of that, they weren't even putting LeBron in the game. Multiple weeks were going by and LeBron was still riding the bench. And then come to find out, some of LeBron's teammates were talking crazy about him to the media.
We have better players than him in this position already on our team, bro.
I don't think you can really just bring a high school player in and really just think your team gonna really turn around like that.
Yeah, but you know what? It was all good though, because LeBron got right back to work. He shut out the noise and continued to strive towards earning playing time. And eventually he did actually get his first game action in the fourth quarter against Northwestern. But over the following weeks, he still wasn't really being put in the game. Eventually, LeBron would earn the opportunity to become the wide receiver 3 for Ohio State, and he definitely did what he had to do throughout practice to officially earn that spot. And it was finally in a game against Indiana where LeBron started to make his presence felt on a college level, and he was proving that he could pretty much run the whole route tree. Plus, he could make those really tough catches over the middle for big first downs. By the end of the game, LeBron had actually helped Ohio State kick a game-winning field goal, and the coaches were so impressed with his performance that they offered him an opportunity to become the second-string wide receiver. And this definitely wasn't an opportunity that LeBron would pass up. So he went out there and took care of business and earned that second-string position. But by then, it was already time for the playoffs. In his first game as a starter, though, LeBron did more than just show out. In the first quarter, LeBron got into the end zone for a touchdown and then soaked in the moment for a second before telling the defense that he was their daddy.
Hey, man, chill out, man. Hey, I'm your daddy, boy.
Then LeBron would just go on to have an incredible game, making plays all over the field. He got in for another touchdown late in the first quarter. And that was before he went out there, caught the ball, and hit a spin move on the defense, and took it all the way into the end zone for a touchdown in the second quarter. He continued his rampage into the second half, pretty much putting this game out of reach by the third quarter, allowing Ohio State to move on to the next round, and LeBron was recognized for his efforts by winning National Player of the Week for going for 20 receptions and over 300 yards with 6 touchdowns. In the Orange Bowl against NC State, LeBron's dominance persisted, as he was able to catch the defense lacking multiple times this game to score multiple touchdowns, even having a really long one here in the second quarter. But it wasn't just LeBron, because his boy Jeremiah Smith would also get into the end zone for a touchdown, the second of the day for him. Not that the game wasn't already put away, but on this last play of the third quarter, LeBron absolutely scorched his defender and was able to find himself into the end zone for another touchdown on the day, in a game where Ohio State would end up winning 59-17. And yeah, LeBron won another National Player of the Week, but that didn't really matter right now, because his eyes were set on the national championship. And LeBron in this game actually scored on Ohio State's very first possession, taking this ball across the middle all the way to the crib for a touchdown. But somehow this game would actually remain low scoring all the way until the end of the fourth quarter, where Ohio State had an opportunity to take a lead with a touchdown. With 12 seconds to go, LeBron goes out to run a route. The quarterback finds him open, and LeBron is fighting his way into the end zone for a touchdown, taking the lead for Ohio State with only 8 seconds left in this national championship.
Yeah!
Oregon had no time to move the ball, so Ohio State wins this game. But during this celebration, LeBron couldn't help think about the fact that Ohio State wouldn't even be here if it weren't for him. He went out there and dominated during these games, and the team didn't even want him in the first place. So during the offseason, LeBron James had decided to enter the transfer portal. ESPN had actually called him up so they can sit down and talk about what his decision would be.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami
Hurricanes. As soon as he got to Miami, LeBron was looking forward to building off his previous season where he went for over 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns in only a handful of games. He was definitely more focused on winning another national championship, but a lot of people couldn't wait to see what LeBron could do with a full season, and so couldn't he. But before he started the season, he had to change his number again because apparently now 6 wasn't available, so he just decided to go with number 0. And then for his helmet, he decided to put on a dark visor because this season, LeBron was about to be a different kind of animal. The country just didn't know it yet. Immediately, LeBron was given the opportunity to earn the spot as the number 1 wide receiver for the University of Miami. And a little bit of good news, bad news situation, the bad news being that this wasn't even close for the other receiver in the competition. LeBron had outright won this thing clear as day, and he had become the number 1 wide receiver. But the good news is that the other wide receiver was Jeremiah Smith. He had transferred over to Miami with LeBron. He really believes that he could win another championship while playing alongside him. And now, it's time to start the season. But LeBron is in the parking lot getting all hyped up before the game. But now that the season's here, LeBron James in the University of Miami is ready to face off against Kent State. Literally on the very first play of LeBron James' career with Miami, he just speeds past this cornerback and runs all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. And honestly, it was so easy to the point where LeBron had to make sure that he wasn't living in a simulation or something. But nah, man, this wasn't no simulation. LeBron James was just cooking the shit out of these boys. Running right by another one for another touchdown. And the moment he got to the end zone, this is where LeBron James was officially crowned the king. Because everybody watching knew that this wasn't no fluke. LeBron James was 100% the real deal. And he would prove it further by going out there and scoring another touchdown towards the end of the third quarter, and crowning himself again before Miami wins this game 45-19. LeBron went out there and had 12 receptions for 373 yards and 4 touchdowns. Going into the following week, Miami had a huge matchup against a ranked opponent. So a coach had challenged LeBron to have a big game. He won National Offensive Player of the Week in Week 1, but he was ready to go off in Week 2 against Notre Dame. To start this game off, Miami was having trouble in the passing game, throwing a pick 6 on their first drive to make this game 10-0. So LeBron would have to come back out and start making an impact by making this crazy catch on the sideline to pick up a first down. The drive would stall out as LeBron got stopped in the backfield on this play, so the drive only resulted in 3 points, but Notre Dame was continuing to put up 7. So LeBron went out there and tried to make a great play before half, but the cornerback made an even better play, picking this ball off and taking it all the way to the crib for 6 with no time left on the clock. After half, Miami was down 21 points, but LeBron was finally able to burst past the guy and his quarterback found him open. So he was able to get all the way downfield and into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game for Miami. And yeah, it was nice to put some points up, but Notre Dame was not showing mercy. So LeBron was doing a great job trying to get his team back downfield. But this was a nice reminder that LeBron didn't have to do all the work, because Jeremiah Smith gets in for another touchdown on his season. Later in the fourth quarter, as Miami continued to fight back, Jeremiah Smith got in for another touchdown to make it a 2-score game. And even though Miami did score again with under 30 seconds left to make it a 1-score game, it was too little too late, and Miami would end up losing this game 41-38. Although LeBron had an excellent game going for 15 receptions for 350 yards and 2 touchdowns, it didn't really matter because he would receive the bulk of the scrutiny. And out of nowhere, he started having all these media members hating on him.
King James is the king. He's the greatest player we've ever seen. He's the most talented player in our game. And everybody gets swept up into this hysteria.
Despite what some people might think, LeBron James was proving to be one of the best players in college football, if not the very best considering the fact that he was leading in the Heisman race so far. But he knew that it was about to be a long season, so he just wanted to keep it up going into his next game against USF. Miami didn't really start getting things going until the end of the first quarter. And when they did, all it took was a pass to LeBron when he went up top and said, "Wang!" snatching the ball right out of the air and picking up a big first down. And then LeBron hit the DB with this slant corner-looking route. He brought the team all the way down to the 1-yard line where the running back would bring it in for a touchdown. After halftime, Miami was down 7, so LeBron had to start making some plays to get them back in the game. So on this first down, he goes up top again and snags the ball on the sideline, picking up a huge gain for the team. Now, then later in the fourth quarter, after finally getting the game tied up, LeBron would run a post over the middle and find himself open into the end zone for another touchdown, taking the lead for Miami. And you see that he takes a bow because USF would not score again. Miami would take this game 21-14. Well, LeBron did a lot of the work, going for over 20 receptions, 400 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And he didn't show any signs of stopping going into another in-state rivalry against Florida. A lot of times he would go downfield and make a huge play, often resulting in a touchdown. But he could still go out there and run short routes and still get into the end zone for touchdowns. By the fourth quarter, they get him the ball on a jet pass, and he gets out around the edge to eventually get into the end zone for a touchdown to take this lead and eventually take this game 28-21. LeBron had yet another incredible stat line. And the crazy thing is that he was still getting better, and he was really just getting started. And you might have noticed about a month into the season, LeBron had started to grow out his beard a little bit. And it only made sense because in this upcoming game against Syracuse, LeBron went out there and was playing like a grown-ass man, making a nice little tippity toe catch on the sideline to get his team going. And then went right back out and hit the cornerback with a zig route and got into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. It wouldn't be so easy though, because sometimes LeBron and his QB would have some miscommunication. This time in particular, it resulted in a pick. But Syracuse couldn't focus too much of their attention on LeBron because they had another receiver on the other side who was also capable of taking it the distance like he did right here. Throughout the rest of this game, LeBron has continued to make some crazy catches over the middle to get his team in scoring position. And at some point, they were able to get him the ball on a jet sweep where he took it around the edge and got into the end zone for another touchdown to put this game away. But as LeBron was continuing to get better throughout the season, you can almost see how scared some of his opponents were when they took the field against him. Because a lot of times the defensive backs didn't even want to cover him, leaving him open downfield for huge first downs. But even if they did cover him, he would still just run past them and eventually get himself into the end zone for a touchdown. And it almost seemed like NC State knew that they were going to be in for a long game, because they were out there letting LeBron literally have his way, running all over the field and finding himself into the end zone again for another touchdown on the day. But oh, you guessed it, it's definitely not over yet. And I can kind of see why the DBs haven't been trying to guard LeBron, because when they do, he'll just go up and embarrass them like he does right here, snagging the ball off the top of this guy's head. At the end of the fourth quarter, Miami had this game in the bag, but they were still trying to throw bombs up to LeBron just for shits and giggles. And you shouldn't be surprised to find out that LeBron snagged the ball out the air before finding himself into the end zone for another touchdown to officially put this game away and make it a 34-10 win for Miami. LeBron had 13 catches for 313 yards and 4 touchdowns. But after the game, LeBron's academic advisor was talking about how he has a D, a F, and all sorts of bad grades. But if you think LeBron's here to do school, then you're fucking tripping. He was only doing just enough to stay afloat. I mean, there is a reason why he was able to win National Offensive Player of the Week consistently. And honestly, it was starting to take a lot out of him. Because come the following Tuesday, LeBron was just tired, man.
I really don't. I really don't got much energy, man. Psych! Y'all know what it is. It's Martes de Taco! Martes de Tacos!
About halfway through the season, LeBron was already about to pass what he did last year and was on pace to put up historic numbers. But he was just looking forward to keeping up these kind of performances going into Miami's next game against Stanford. To start this game off, LeBron was making some nice plays over the middle to pick up big first downs. But then things would start to get shaky as LeBron would end up getting stopped in the backfield. And then when he came out on third down, the quarterback wasn't able to connect with him, so the drive resulted in 3 points. The following drive, LeBron was able to find space over the middle to get his team upfield and into the red zone. And then played a big part in capping the drive off with this 11-yard touchdown to bring Miami's lead to 7. After halftime, LeBron went out there to try to go make a big play, but the cornerback not only picks the ball off, but then stiff arms him to the ground, kind of making him look a little goofy, so LeBron was angry. After Stanford tied it up, LeBron came right back out and was determined to make a big play. He found himself open over the middle once again before breaking off a tackle and getting his team all the way down near the red zone. And then a couple plays later, he went out there and set the cornerback up with a nice corner route and got into the end zone for another touchdown on the day.
They take the lead with the 6.
But unfortunately, Stanford was not about to go away quietly. Within the fourth quarter, LeBron and this Miami offense was struggling to make a play. When the game came down to 3rd down and 10 for Miami, well, LeBron just zooms past the guy, and the quarterback finds him open, and now LeBron is streaking downfield all the way to the end zone for a touchdown to help win this game for Miami. Because once he got behind him, that man was gone. And now on 3rd and 11, they were just trying to put the game away and chew out the rest of the clock. But somehow LeBron got around the edge, and he was able to find himself streaking down the sideline for another touchdown to officially put this game away for good. Miami would end up winning this game 31-17 in a game that was close all throughout. You can see that LeBron is already putting up historical numbers in the ACC record books, as he's now officially earned the receiving yards and receiving touchdown records. But that wasn't too big of a deal because there was a lot more records to break, and a lot of games left to do it in, including this next one against Florida State. LeBron came out there and ran a jet sweep to the outside before stiff-arming a DB to the dirt. But a lot of times when LeBron's out there, he calls for the ball too much. And sometimes it results in an interception like you see here. He always thinks that he can just go out there and do anything. And oftentimes he can, but sometimes he can't. And his mistakes would result in turnovers. With 1 minute to go before halftime, Miami found themselves down by 21, with LeBron James leading the charge. On 1st down and 10 from just outside the red zone, LeBron hit the DB with a little bit of hey, and got himself open into the end zone for a touchdown to start this comeback. Miami after halftime was still struggling on offense, but it was okay because so was Florida State. And LeBron was determined to get his team back in the game, so he takes the ball out here on a jet sweep and says, "Scoop, skibbity-doo-bop, hey," and celebrates his way on into the end zone for another touchdown to make this a 7-point game. But LeBron wasn't done yet because after Miami got the 2-point conversion, they came back out in the next drive, and the quarterback finds LeBron open up the seam, and he is racing his way into the end zone for a touchdown to finally take the lead in this game. And now all LeBron got to do is just watch as his defense closes the game out, which eventually they can, and Miami would end up winning this game 25-21. LeBron James was doing an incredible job leading this Miami team, and the entire country was starting to take notice. He even got an NIL deal with Nike. They wanted to shoot a whole commercial with him, so he definitely accepted that deal. But despite all the hype that was surrounding LeBron, he never let it get to his head. He just stayed focused and locked in for his next game against Louisville. LeBron definitely came out swinging in this game, scoring a 75 touchdown on the opening drive for Miami. It didn't stay smooth as Miami would end up throwing a pick, but they would come right back out and throw the ball to LeBron, who would come down with it in the end zone for another touchdown, making this a 14-3 ball game in the second quarter. But by the end of the third quarter, Louisville had not only taken the lead, but they were taking the ball away from Miami, getting another interception and putting Miami in a really bad position. Louisville actually scored on the next drive, making this a 2-possession game, so LeBron went out there and tried to go make a play by scoring a touchdown, but Louisville challenged the play, and it turns out it wasn't Miami's ball anymore.
It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It ain't our ball. It's our ball, ain't it? It's our ball. Hey!
Miami would lose this game 17-24, and you can't help but think that it had to do with the fact that LeBron only had 4 receptions. Now, LeBron didn't think that he was going to win Player of the Week this week, but he actually seen that his friend Kyler won it. And LeBron actually gave an interview about how he knew Kyler was going to have a great day.
I watched the whole game. I seen the whole game. I was at home watching the game, and, you know, I said he was going to, before the game even started, when I seen, I said he was probably going to score 70 tonight. I don't know what made me say that, and my friends was with me, and they was like, okay, so.
But going into their next game against ranked Pittsburgh, LeBron knew that he had to have a great day himself in order to get his team back on track. So on one of the first plays of Miami's possession, LeBron was able to find himself open the middle and make a huge catch, bringing his team all the way downfield inside the red zone. LeBron would immediately come back out and torch the DB, getting himself into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. And Pittsburgh was definitely playing some pretty tough defense for the most part. But you can't just focus all your attention on LeBron and not expect for Jeremiah Smith to find his way into the end zone for a touchdown. In the second quarter, LeBron just ran straight and eventually snagged the ball right off this number 13's head, basically making him look like a little boy. So the Pittsburgh coaches decided to switch him out, but that didn't really do anything because LeBron just races past this guy and gets himself in the end zone for another touchdown on the day. And eventually that was more than enough to put this game away, as Miami would end up winning this game 28-7. LeBron had 8 receptions for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. And with all that NIL money that LeBron was earning, it was pretty cool to see that LeBron actually went back to his old high school and bought them a whole new set of jerseys for the rest of their season. LeBron for the people, man, love to see it, but LeBron is also for the end zone, because that was his favorite place to be when he was on the field. By the second quarter against the top 10 ranked opponent in Virginia Tech, LeBron James was continuously racing his way into the end zone for touchdowns after touchdowns, and doing the Heisman pose in the end zone to show everybody that he expected to win it. He got himself into the end zone once again towards the end of the fourth quarter and reminded everybody that he was still the king. Miami would end up winning this game 28-17 off LeBron's 10 catches for over 200 yards and 4 touchdowns. As the season was beginning to come to a close, LeBron was finding himself at the top of rankings for big awards. But LeBron was just focused on continuing to get better and getting hyped up for the remainder of the season.
Can't you? Don't let you, when you risk like this, you don't check the forecast, every day's gonna rain. But a brick by brick, gotta throw bullshit, it's real cocaine. But I got a little sense, but I had to.
LeBron came out in this game against SMU and absolutely cooked them. After getting himself into the end zone at the end of the first quarter, he comes back out at the end of the second quarter and sheds off the DB before finding himself open over the top, getting himself into the end zone again for another touchdown to extend the lead. And after he comes back out in the fourth quarter and absolutely dusts this dude, he has to immediately make sure that he wasn't dreaming, because this was a little too easy. Miami won this game 42-24, and then closed out their regular season against Kansas State after LeBron snatches the ball out of the air in the end zone on this play, leading to a 28-14 victory over number 10 ranked Kansas State. And after the regular season, LeBron had won a lot of the awards that he expected to win, coming home with Player of the Year and the Heisman Trophy. But LeBron felt so close to winning another championship that he could barely even focus. Sometimes he would be caught daydreaming about winning another ring.
LeBron, you're gonna miss the bus. LeBron, everybody's on the bus. Let's go.
And Miami needed LeBron to be as locked in as he possibly could be, because now that it was the college football playoffs, Miami would be matched up against LeBron's old team in Ohio State. To start this game off on 3rd and 13, LeBron actually gets open for what could have been a touchdown, but even though it's 4th down, Miami's coach knows that they gotta come out here swinging. So the coach gives the offense an opportunity to make something happen, and LeBron actually races his way past the defender and finds himself open, going down the sideline into the end zone for a touchdown to take the early lead in this game. The one thing about Ohio State is that LeBron had played against these guys all season in practice, so he knows exactly how to read their coverages, and he was able to get himself open once again over the middle and streak down the field into the end zone for another touchdown on the day. But even though Miami had a 14-3 lead at this point, there was still a lot of game left to be played, and Miami's quarterback seemed to be helping Ohio State get back in it as he throws an unwarranted interception over the middle here. So now with this game only one possession, LeBron knows that he has to go ahead and make a play. So he goes out there and snatches the ball out the air right off the top of the defender's back. And it only took a couple plays later before they got LeBron the ball on a jet sweep, and he takes it into the end zone for a touchdown to extend the lead. Late in the third quarter, Miami found themselves up by only 5. But LeBron was on mismatch island against the DB that was half his size. So it only makes sense that he was able to race past him and find himself streaking down the sideline into the end zone for another touchdown to extend the lead and tell Ohio State that their entire defensive back unit are LeBron's children. At the top of the fourth quarter, Jeremiah Smith went into the end zone for another touchdown on the day, and that was enough to keep Ohio State away and eventually win this game 48-37. LeBron went out there and had 16 receptions for almost 500 yards and 6 touchdowns. Really doing some of his best work in the playoffs, and he was still working to get better. And in their next game against the Oregon Ducks, LeBron didn't seem to have any plans of slowing down. By the end of the first quarter, Oregon had decided that the best way to guard LeBron was to not guard him at all. And I guess it seemed to work out for them as he didn't score a touchdown, but he would just come right back out there and take this dig into the end zone for the first points of the game.
Touchdown for the U.
You know, it was starting to become clear that LeBron was a little too quick for a lot of these DBs. There wasn't many who could keep up with him, and if they did keep up with him, he would probably just catch it over you anyway. He got into the end zone to take another 7-point lead, but in the third quarter things started to change a little bit as the quarterback throws an interception to the middle of the field, allowing Oregon to go ahead and tie the game up. But by the end of the third quarter, LeBron was proving to be a little too dominant for some of these guys. And in the fourth quarter, after being backed up at their own one, for whatever reason, Oregon decided that it was a good idea to press LeBron, and he went out there and scored a 99-yard touchdown, taking this ball all the way to the crib and taking Oregon's spirits along with him. Miami would end up winning this game 31-14, and LeBron had 12 receptions for over 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, solidifying Miami's spot in the college football national championship. And literally up until the last game of the season, LeBron was still focused on getting better. And y'all know LeBron loves music, so before the game, he decided to sit down and relax and listen to some tunes. And after that, LeBron was ready to go out there and try to win another championship against the Clemson Tigers. Now, things definitely did start out a little bit rough for LeBron in this Miami offense, as they were unable to get into the end zone and eventually stalled out on third down. But LeBron and that Miami quarterback were starting to get their chemistry going by picking up some big yardage. And then eventually towards the end of the first quarter, LeBron had found himself past the DBs and in the end zone for the first touchdown of the game in this national championship.
Let's go!
And you could probably guess that this dominance wasn't about to stop now. Because as much as I want to say that this game was a really great game, it was really only a great game for LeBron. But I guess when this is what you have to match up against that DB, it would only make sense that a guy who's 6'9" and faster than everybody else in the field would be able to race his way into the end zone for another touchdown. And it was honestly getting so sad and embarrassing to the point where LeBron had once again had to make sure that he wasn't dreaming or living in a simulation or something, because this was way too easy. It was still the third quarter and LeBron was going in for his 6th touchdown, and he immediately after had to go check the depth chart because there was just no way, bro. He had to see exactly who was guarding him because whoever that was needed to retire immediately. LeBron had gone out there and scored another touchdown towards the end of the third quarter to effectively end this game and feel good about the coach pulling him out. And just like that, LeBron James had taken his talents to South Beach and won a national championship with the Miami Hurricanes, winning this game 62-34. LeBron had 11 receptions for over 600 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's just the kind of performance he felt like he needed to have in order to come away with this victory and earn himself a 2nd ring. By the end of the season, LeBron had put up some beyond incredible numbers, going for over 5,000 yards and 60 receiving touchdowns. Not to mention he broke multiple national career, single season, and single game records. But most importantly, LeBron was a back-to-back national champion, and he had done it all without Ohio State's help. And LeBron was so overwhelmed with joy, he didn't even know what to say.
I don't know what to say. I'm a champion, 2-time, 2 rings. That shit stank, don't it? Ugh.
So it turns out this is what would happen if LeBron James played college football. And there's probably a chance with how great he was that he'll likely end up going to the NFL. So if you want to see that happen, be sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel down below. And also be sure to comment down below who else you guys want to see next. If you got to the point in this video, just know that I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. I hope that you guys' college and NFL teams win this weekend. And other than that, I'm going to catch you guys next time.